Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to demonstrate how to manage invoices and how to create them within the buyback platform. So to get started, I'm going to have you navigate to the invoice management page here with the navigation bar, and you'll be presented with this screen. Now the invoice management screen has a couple major sections. The first is going to be the status sections. Here you can view either all of your invoices, all of your outstanding invoices, or all of the paid invoices. This defaults at outstanding because those are the ones you're going to most often want to view. Now, just below that is the total outstanding balance and total outstanding profit sections. Now, what this does is it calculates the total outstanding balance for all of the invoices that are in the outstanding status, and then the total outstanding profit section will briefly and quickly show you how much profit you can make off of those once they are paid. Now, if you want to view an invoice in particular, you just click on one like this. And if you want to create an invoice, you use the Add New Invoice button here at the top right. So we're going to do that right now. You'll be presented with a screen that asks you to input customer information. You can fill out all of this information here, or if you have a repeat customer, you can go to existing customer and then search for the customer you want to add to the invoice. So I'm just going to use this one right here. After that, it'll ask you to add some details for this invoice, like the date it should be processed, the payment term, which is how long you're going to give the customer to pay that invoice, and the current selections are due on receipt, which would be immediately, within 7 days, or within 14 days. So I'm just going to click on the 7-day option here. We also have a reference number section at the bottom. Here you can just kind of keep track of the invoice with either an order number or any other reference information you may have. So I'm just going to put here example. All right, we're going to click Save to proceed to the invoice details page. When you're creating an invoice, the first thing it's going to ask you to do after submitting all of your customer information and invoice details is adding devices. And there's 3 different ways to add devices here within the platform to an invoice. So you can search for it individually. You can add bulk devices to an invoice with the serial number or IMEI. This is if you're doing lots of devices all at once, so you can just scan all of the labels. Or you can add a custom device. So we could do custom 1, and then add a serial number, add a condition, a price, and a cost. And this will show right here on the items section. Now that we're on this page, I can kind of show you the main sections of the invoice details page. The first is going to be the invoice ID box. This is just going to show you the ID number for the invoice, the date the invoice is created, the due date for the invoice, and the ability to add a tracking number to the invoice. This is if you're going to be sending a package out to a customer after they've paid you. So you can just quickly click edit and then add that tracking number in here. If you need to edit any of the terms of the invoice, you can do so right here. The next major section is going to be the customer information box. This is just going to display your customer information that you selected for the invoice. If you need to edit any of this information, you can do so with the edit button. The third section is the salesperson box. The salesperson box is just going to show you, who created the invoice and some of their basic contact information. We've already gone over the items box, but I'm going to go over it some more right now. So when the invoice is created for the first time, I showed you how to add a device. There's also an add device button if you need to add anything after the fact. So right now we're going to click on that, and we're just going to select this Apple Watch to the invoice just to make this field a little more populated. So from here, you can change the condition of the device. For example, if you were fixing a bunch of devices and it was a cracked glass and you needed to move it to excellent condition for the invoice, you can do so right here with the strap down. You can add notes to the device itself, which will be shown on the invoice PDF. For example, no box, or comes with an extra charger or extra bands. Whatever you want to add there, you can. You'll want to add a price to the device here. So we are going to throw in maybe $200 for this example. Now that's only going to be populated at $0 if that inventory item itself doesn't have a price attached to it. So you can quickly edit that there if need be. And if you need to delete an item off of an invoice, you just click the little trash can button. Now, the bottom section of the items box is going to show you the subtotal, the total cost on however much it cost you for those devices, and the profit margin on the entirety of the order. The total section is just a sub-calculation, and then just below that is a record payment button. And here you can add either one payment or multiple payments as the customer is paying you for these devices. So in this example, we're just going to do cash, $300, and save payment. That will show this invoice is being paid. If devices are being returned from the invoice, you can use the return device button here, and that will return selected devices from this list onto the invoice. Now, the final main section of the invoice page or the invoice details page is going to be notes. Just like all of the other sections within buyback, there are two different types of notes: internal notes and customer notes. Internal notes are internal notes only seen by your team. Customer notes are notes that can be seen by the customer on the invoice PDF or in the email that's sent out in a new feature that's coming out pretty soon. Now, keep in mind, make sure the notes that you put for customers are intended for the customers. We've had some people put some extra stuff in there that wasn't intended to be seen by them. So just keep that in mind. From the action menu in the top right section of the invoice details page, you've got three different options. You can download a PDF that you can email to the customer. You can download a CSV of the invoice, and then you can see the change log. All of the first two are pretty self-explanatory, but the change log will show you all of the changes you've made within the invoice in particular. Now, that pretty much wraps up the invoice details and how to manage and create invoices within the platform. But if you have any questions or feedback, please use that feedback button to report a bug, send a feature request in, or use the intercom button to see articles or send us a message. Thanks for hearing me out, and have a great rest of your day.